the drug cheat. Is that a fight you'd entertain?
It looks like it is happening.
I still don't believe it. How can you believe it's going to happen?
Have you made peace with it? Because I've never seen someone so animated over this fight.
It's insane. It's madness, but...
Came up behind him and secretly handed him something that nobody could see. And at first, Jake didn't do anything, just continuing to eat. But after he was done, he casually raised his hand to his mouth and put some—
Breaking. Jake Paul exposed after he failed drug test before Joshua fight. That's the reason Jake Paul was so confident for the Anthony Joshua fight. But now the truth is out. He failed a drug test, proving all his bravado was fake. Anthony Joshua will show the world the real fighter when this fight finally happens.
Jake said that I snort cocaine, that I'm a cokehead. My rebuttal to that was, I'll tell you what, you can test me randomly for the next 5 years for cocaine, if I can test you randomly for performance-enhancing drugs the next 2 years. And I never got a response on that.
Jake Paul openly admits it, saying, if Viagra counts, then yes. This shows how overconfident and careless he has been for the Anthony Joshua fight. While Joshua trains properly and stays disciplined, Paul relies on shortcuts, making him look small, unprofessional, and completely out of his depth.
Are you on performance-enhancing drugs?
If taking Viagra counts, then yes.
It's obvious Jake Paul is nothing more than a YouTuber trying to play fighter. David Benavidez isn't holding back. He calls it like it is, suggesting steroids are involved. This just proves Paul's so-called skill is built on hype and shortcuts. Anthony Joshua is a real athlete. Paul is a social media stunt waiting to be exposed.
Him, so he never got off.
You think he's on steroids?
Of course. How does
John Fury points out the seriousness of Jake Paul failing a drug test ahead of the Anthony Joshua fight. This isn't a small issue and shows Paul's lack of professionalism. While the world watches, Anthony Joshua continues disciplined training, knowing he faces a fighter more focused on shortcuts than real preparation. Fans are beginning to see the contrast between a true champion and a YouTuber pretending to be one.
To the drug testing people either. Now, to me, that's very naughty because we're meant to be in a high-profile fight. What's going out being...
Eddie Hearn emphasizes that Jake Paul tested positive for not one, but 2 substances. This exposes Paul's overconfidence and reliance on cheating rather than skill for the Anthony Joshua fight. While Paul scrambles to defend himself, Anthony Joshua remains focused and ready. It highlights the huge gap in professionalism and discipline between the two fighters.
You know, obviously then you do your research into what it is, you know, the amount.
Tested positive for 2 substances, right?
Yeah, I believe that
Did the second one get confirmed?
Frank Warren confirms the drug test fail is a fact and not denied anywhere. Jake Paul now faces scrutiny for the Anthony Joshua fight. Fans are talking about it everywhere, while Joshua stays in training mode. This situation only reinforces how unprepared and reckless Paul is, compared to a disciplined champion like Joshua.
There's lots of talk about, let's see how this works out, and he's entitled to get his day and so forth. Well, it should be dealt with very quickly, and it can be.
Adam Catterall points out how shocking it is that Jake Paul failed even a voluntary anti-doping test. His confidence for the Anthony Joshua fight is crumbling as the truth comes out. Fans can now clearly see the difference between a real boxer like Joshua and a social media stunt pretending to fight at this level.
It being him connected to this, it's even more shocking. You just highlighted there, this is the noises that this is.
Ade Oladipo highlights the bizarre situation with Jake Paul possibly using substances as a masking agent. It paints a clear picture of how he relies on chemicals rather than skill for the Anthony Joshua fight. Joshua's preparation remains clean and focused, making him a far superior professional, and Paul looks more like a reckless amateur every day.
That's kind of easier to digest. This is weird. I don't know if cocaine, I honestly, I don't know if cocaine is now used as a masking agent for a performance-enhancing drug.
Johnny Nelson hits the nail on the head. Jake Paul might take drugs and try to appear stronger or fitter, but it does not make him a better fighter. Anthony Joshua's skill, timing, and ring intelligence cannot be faked or enhanced by substances. Paul's overconfidence is built on nothing real, and fans are starting to see that clearly. The Anthony Joshua fight was supposed to be a spectacle, but now it is exposing Paul as a YouTuber who thinks shortcuts can replace discipline. Joshua's focus, technique, and experience make him untouchable.
2-minute interview. I always say, it don't matter what drugs you take, it doesn't make you a better fighter. It might make you stronger, it might make you fit. It doesn't make you a better fighter, and that's proof. You know, so until more news comes out, you just got to deal with it.
Dave Coldwell's reaction perfectly captures the shock surrounding Jake Paul. The term cheating bastard says it all. Even if we do not yet know the full details, the Anthony Joshua fight has been thrown into doubt because Paul's reputation is in tatters. Fans are angry, and commentators are calling out his antics. While Paul scrambled to justify himself, Anthony Joshua continued disciplined training. This is turning into a story of discipline versus deception. The boxing world is seeing that Paul's confidence was entirely manufactured, and Joshua's professionalism shines brighter than ever.
Fucking hell, cheating bastard. Yeah. You know, that's the initial reaction. Whether it's a first fail or a third fail, that's the initial reaction. Your gut reaction is, but then obviously we don't know what he's failed for yet, and we don't know what it is. But then when it's someone that's failed 3 times, or this is the third adverse reaction,
Adam Catterall raises a serious point. Jake Paul is only thinking about turning up to get paid, ignoring the real risks. The Anthony Joshua fight is high stakes, and safety cannot be compromised. Voluntary anti-doping tests exist for a reason, and Paul failing one is a major red flag. Joshua's preparation has been disciplined, responsible, and clean. Fans are starting to understand that Paul's focus has always been on fame and shortcuts, not the sport itself. The gap between a real professional like Anthony Joshua and a social media fighter like Paul is now undeniable and only growing larger.
Get paid.
Correct.
This should not be their decision. The British Boxing Board of Control should be standing up and taking the voluntary anti-doping test seriously. Absolutely. Yes, I know that you work with the UK anti-doping, I know that, but this is a test. He's popped hot. Let's look into it properly. What happens if something happens on Saturday night?
Absolutely.
What if we've already got a safety issue with
Eddie Hearn explains the chaos surrounding Jake Paul's failed test. The Anthony Joshua fight is now uncertain because of legal and regulatory questions. Paul's carelessness is creating problems that Joshua does not have to worry about. Fans are following closely, seeing how a YouTuber pretending to fight can jeopardize a major bout. Joshua continues to train hard while the spotlight exposes Paul's reckless behavior. The contrast between a disciplined champion and a flashy social media fighter has never been clearer. Every hour that passes proves Joshua's focus and Paul's overconfidence are worlds apart.
But obviously at the moment, the British Boxing Board of Control aren't. So we have to speak with them, deal with the legal situation and see where it lands. And this is quite fresh. Obviously, I don't even think it's 30 minutes. I think it's more like 10 or 15 minutes since that. And, we'll see what rolls on the next few hours.
John Fury reminds everyone that Jake Paul is innocent until proven guilty. But the situation already speaks volumes. Failing a drug test before the Anthony Joshua fight makes him look reckless and unprepared. Joshua's preparation and professionalism are now highlighted even more against Paul's antics. Fans see clearly who belongs in the ring and who belongs online. The drama is building, and the Anthony Joshua fight is no longer just about boxing skill. It is about discipline, integrity, and proving who really deserves to step in the ring.
Ban the fucker. Ban him. Because it's a dangerous sport. Whatever they do, whatever they don't. But I'm having no opinion on it at all. A man's innocent till proven guilty, and I've been in...
Carl Frampton makes a critical point that failing a drug test in boxing is not just a mistake. It is dangerous. Jake Paul's failed test before the Anthony Joshua fight shows how unprofessional he really is. While Joshua trains clean and focuses on skill and discipline, Paul relies on shortcuts that could risk serious harm in the ring. Fans are beginning to realize that Paul is not a legitimate boxer, but a YouTuber who pretends to fight. The consequences could be severe, and his reputation is now fully exposed as reckless and unsafe.
High-profile guys getting caught, and it's just horrible. I genuinely, and I know you without saying, without going fucking fully mental here, I just believe if you're caught with any performance-enhancing drug, you should be banned.
Gareth Davies highlights that Jake Paul has been using multiple supplements and potentially dangerous substances. For the Anthony Joshua fight, this exposes how reliant Paul is on chemicals instead of real training and preparation. Joshua's focus, discipline, and natural ability contrast sharply with Paul's artificial approach. Fans are seeing that Paul's confidence was all smoke and mirrors. This situation is turning into a major scandal and is making it clear that a YouTuber cannot compete with a true professional like Anthony Joshua in the ring. The gap in preparation and skill has never been more obvious.
I haven't been reporting on it this morning. I'm just slowly coming up. One of my colleagues, Jeremy Wilson's doing it for the Telegraph. He's the drugs expert, or the doping expert on the desk. And I think there was something like 14 supplements that he was using.
Johnny Nelson points out that Jake Paul taking drugs does nothing to make him a better fighter. Anthony Joshua's skill, timing, and ring intelligence cannot be replicated by chemicals. Paul's reliance on shortcuts shows how out of his depth he is. Fans are witnessing a stark contrast between a disciplined champion and a YouTuber who pretends he belongs in the ring. Joshua's preparation and natural talent are unmatched, and Paul's antics will not save him. The Anthony Joshua fight is now a clear demonstration that cheating and hype cannot replace true ability and professionalism.
Drugs don't make you a better fighter. Drugs may make you a little stronger, may make you a little, give you a bit more energy, but it don't make you technically smart. It doesn't give you all of that, you know. So those drug cheats that do it purposely, you got to remember, you know, why are you doing it? What difference is it going to make? It's going to make you like a boxing Einstein?
Sam Jones explains that while it is easy to joke about Jake Paul, the reality is dangerous. Anthony Joshua has shown he can seriously hurt opponents, and Paul is unprepared. Fans are seeing that Paul's overconfidence and drug reliance make him vulnerable. The fight against Joshua would be brutal for Paul and exposes how little he belongs in a real boxing ring. Joshua's preparation, power, and skill put him on a completely different level. Paul is a YouTuber pretending to fight, while Joshua is a true heavyweight champion. This situation makes Paul's recklessness painfully obvious.
Listen, we can all joke, but nobody wants any permanent damage to happen to Jake Paul. But if Anthony Joshua hits Jake Paul with the right hand he hit Francis Ngannou with, he could brown bread.
The Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul saga has taken a shocking turn, with Paul failing a drug test ahead of the fight. Everything points to Joshua's professionalism, discipline, and natural ability towering over Paul's manufactured confidence and YouTube antics. Fans have been watching as Paul's shortcuts, supplements, and reckless behavior are fully exposed, while Joshua continues training clean and focused, proving he is on another level. This is not just about power or hype. It is about skill, timing, and ring intelligence that cannot be faked. Paul's overconfidence has finally met reality, and the fight may be delayed until Joshua is fully prepared, showing who truly deserves to step in the ring. The drama is building, and anticipation is sky high. Fans are left to speculate if Paul can ever recover his reputation, or if Joshua will continue to dominate without even needing to swing. Comment below who you think will walk into the ring stronger and smarter, and don't hold back your opinion.